We wish to attract everyone to manufacturing. Our military veterans, they are highly sought after by manufacturing. They are taught to a highest standard when you are in the United States military. When those men and women complete their military service, we sincerely hope that they will look at manufacturing as a career. And we at the Manufacturing Institute have made large investments to try to support them in their transition and to encourage them to look at manufacturing as a career.
Gardner Carrick is Chief Program Officer at the Manufacturing Institute. He's one of the people I spoke with for Working Nation's 3-part series on manufacturing. In this episode, we'll look at how companies can and should attract a more diverse workforce, including transitioning military personnel, veterans, and women. The Manufacturing Institute says that a surge in manufacturing, partly due to the infusion of federal money through the CHIPS and Science Act, and the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, will have companies scrambling to fill positions in coming years. A recent report projects that the industry will soon need nearly 4 million new workers, many with digital skills. Whether they have specific digital skills or not, many people with military backgrounds have aptitudes that would be a good fit for new careers in manufacturing. Again, Gardner Carrick.
Many of them come with skills that they don't even realize are relevant to manufacture. Almost everyone in the military needs to operate really safely around really dangerous equipment and maintain that equipment to a quality standard that their life depends on. Those are skills that are highly in demand in manufacturing.
One way to help military professionals with an easier transition to jobs in manufacturing is through Heroes Make America. It was launched by the Manufacturing Institute to help transitioning service members, veterans, National Guard members, reservists, and even military spouses prepare for careers in manufacturing. Heroes Make America works with companies of all sizes on recruiting and training. It also works directly with the U.S. Department of Defense's Skill Bridge program, which places current military service members into the civilian workplace in their last 6 months of active duty.
We run skill bridge training programs for those that are transitioning out of the military. We have military to manufacturing events to directly connect them to manufacturers that are hiring. And then we also provide resources and tools for manufacturers to better welcome the military talent into their plants.
Amy Thomas is National Director of the Military and Veterans Initiative, Heroes Make America. About 200,000 military personnel transition out of the service every year. Most need to find civilian jobs, but many don't know where to even begin. Programs like the government's Skill Bridge can give them a sense of a particular type of job and can often lead to getting hired. But not everyone in the service gets that opportunity. Thomas says that a lot of transitioning service members are unaware of the many rewarding careers awaiting them, careers in which they can put their valued military skills to work. Through Heroes Make America, transitioning military can learn about manufacturing operations, industrial systems, maintenance, and logistics, in person and virtually, across the country. Thomas explains how it works.
If they come into one of our training programs and they work with one of our program managers on the ground, they'll go through their industry recognized certification training that is delivered on behalf of local technical or community colleges, teach that part for us. And then our program managers work with them on career readiness support and their military skills translation. So our career and readiness support would be resume prep, interview prep, LinkedIn, maybe a financial readiness course. But then when we talk to them to try and help them translate their military skills and experience, we find out what they did in the military and then how we can relate it to manufacturing careers. So, for example, if you were infantry in the military, and a lot of times they'll tell me, oh, I carried a backpack full of bullets and I walked a lot. But what they also go on to say is that, we have to have safety, communication, logistics, have to make critical thinking under pressure, those types of things. And when we tell them that those directly correlate with careers in the industry, it's almost like a light bulb goes off and they're like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. And so then they end up finding these fantastic careers.
The Manufacturing Institute also takes military personnel and veterans right into the plants to see how products are being made. They also host in-person and virtual career fairs, as well as Heroes Connect events, which Thomas calls a 60-minute infomercial, in which manufacturers can talk about their company and career options. Thomas says the Institute and manufacturing companies also try to change the perception of the industry.
It's not the same manufacturing from even 10 years ago, right? Where we see all these things that's dark, dirty, dangerous, low paying. We go into these plants or factories and we see high tech, high paying, like thrilling jobs like 3D printers, automation, climate control these days. And so we really try to paint the picture of what these careers look like, what the advancement pathways are, and how their skills directly translate into these careers.
If a transitioning military member or veteran sees opportunity and has an interest in the industry, Heroes Make America helps them identify how the skills they developed in the service can translate to manufacturing jobs.
Most of them have 4, 8 years, 10 years plus in the military working on aircraft or working in high profile jobs around high profile equipment, responsible for these millions of dollars in equipment. And I think it's just helping them see that they do qualify for these jobs. They just don't know where they are. They don't have a great plan and they don't know how the skills translate. Once they get into the plants, talk and learn from the manufacturers that we have at these events, it's really like, wow, I didn't know that. And so what we're seeing, our program has a really high success rate. So we've got anywhere between a 92 and 93% placement rate. 7 to 10 weeks prior to them coming into one of our training programs, they might not have even known these jobs existed. And now they have a great plan, a great career, and they're going off to do great things in the manufacturing industry.
And that outreach and education extends to military spouses as well.
I myself am a military spouse, and it was hard for me when we moved around to find employment because they were like, oh, well, your spouse is going to be gone. We're not going to touch it because you're not going to be here long enough. But many military spouses are college educated, high skill level. I mean, I don't think you can find a better logistician in the world than a military spouse. That spouse has to keep everything running at home, take care of the kids, do the job and everything when their spouse is deployed.
James Goppert served in the U.S. Army for the first part of his career, 25 years, 10 months, 21 days, to be exact. He traveled to 7 different countries as a personnel service specialist, which is the military's version of human resources. Now he's an HR business partner at a packaging company, Smurfit Westrock, based in North Carolina. Goppert says he had a pretty seamless transition to a civilian job, given what he did in the service. Now he advocates for Heroes Make America to help other transitioning military members learn what their futures could be. And at recruiting events, he seeks out active duty military and mentors them.
So now how do I get the idea of fear out of the transitioning service members? And so that's whenever I started advocating Heroes Make America. So I would go to recruiting events at military posts because even if it weren't necessarily for us, I was like, hey, check out Heroes Make America. Check out this. They'll help give you stuff that you could use on the outsides, mechatronics, mechanicals, electric. And so I started advocating for that. A lot of times they would have a booth over there and I was like, all right, they're over there. Go talk to them. And it became this working relationship to now it's like they're family.
Goppert says he shares his personal experiences to let transitioning service members know what's available to them, and that sometimes it just requires tweaking the resume to get in the door.
I'm going to call you on this date. We'll set up a time. And I go through writing the resume, give my suggestions, give them a phone call and tell them why. What's going to stand out? What's going to sit there? How does that translate? What skills? A lot of military mindset gets into what job they did. Oh, well, I drove trucks. Or 88 Mike in the Army. Truck driver. Okay. But what other skills do you have? You put your uniform together. That's attention to detail, quality. Think about all of those little things that you've done. And those skills relate to something on the civilian side. It's just you have to find those individual skills and say, what have I done as a soldier that I can translate and say, I've done this? Yes, you drove a truck. That's great. But you've done more.
And even if Goppert's company isn't right for a transitioning veteran, he'll help them find a company that is right.
First and foremost, it's Smurfit Westrock. Hey, we're looking for individuals. We need people. But if there's something that they're looking for that it doesn't fit for whatever reason, that doesn't fit for us, then I'll say, well, we do have a skill bridge. And our skill bridge is 90 days. It helps develop and gives you a plethora of different things. We have early careers and development programs. So I'll go over the different specialty programs, but even if that's still not fit what they need, then I'm like, all right, what do you want to do? Because I will take care of people. I want to make sure that everybody has that opportunity and is very passionate And so I'll look before a recruiting event or something like that. I'll go to the tables and see what everybody does. I'll see who's truly invested in it. Literally, I will say, all right, cool. You love driving trucks, or you love doing this. You love logistics. All right, let me show you this one that's 100% veterans. They will take care of you. Or, hey, let me introduce you to FANE, Manufacturing Institute, Heroes Make America, those things like that, and show them. And if they're not there, then I'm like, all right, here's my email address. Here's my personal cell phone number. Call me and let's figure out what you need to do. Yeah, does that add more to my plate? It does. But at the end of the day, somebody has an opportunity. And it's whether it's with Smurfit Westrock, whether it's with Manufacturing Institute, or whoever that needs somebody. Because the jobs, as you know, they've discussed, they're there. But not everybody knows those jobs are there. And their skills, they don't know that they have the skills to actually do them.
When I did my internship in a local manufacturing facility, there were not very many women in that facility.
Tina Caldwell is a human resources generalist at Accutech Precision Aerospace, which is run by a woman. Through the Women Make America initiative, manufacturers are actively recruiting more women into the industry, tapping into the potential of this underrepresented group. The attempt to close the gender gap is showing some progress.
Fast forward 25 years, and we're going to find a lot more women in that facility. They're machinists. They're doing inspection. They're doing front office jobs. They're doing non-destructive testing. They're doing the shipping. They're helping with the continuous improvement. They are throughout the organization. And I think that whether male or female, there are good paying, great opportunities in manufacturing if you want to pursue that.
Courtney Silver is president of Ketchy, a precision machine shop in Concord, North Carolina. We met her in episode 2 when she shared the challenges of hiring for small manufacturing companies. Ketchy is a 77-year-old family-owned business which she has run for the past 16 years.
I would say I'm still an outlier based on the industry, events, trade shows I've been to. It's still very clear I'm a pretty big minority.
Silver was a winner of the Women Make America Award, presented by the Manufacturing Institute to women who have made a profound difference in reducing the gender gap in manufacturing. More than 1,000 women have received the honor so far. Silver says that while manufacturing was built around men, more and more women are seeing opportunity in the industry. But it takes convincing that it's not necessarily the kind of work their fathers or grandfathers did.
Years ago, we didn't have the machining technology that we had, and it was very hard and strenuous, and a lot of it was dirty, and you were covered in all sorts of things. And I think as the result of how our industry's changed, we have cranes, they're clean working environments, organized. There's a lot that's happening in manufacturing that we don't need to manually do with our hands. Now, we still do, obviously, but with robotics, with automation. So that opens it up for more women. And I think that's what's exciting about it.
The National Association of Manufacturers estimates that women account for nearly 30% of the manufacturing workforce now. In addition to Women Make America, they have a new campaign called 35 by 30 to boost the percentage to 35% of the workforce by 2030. To do this, the 35 by 30 campaign is creating a nationwide movement with more than 1,000 female mentors connecting to emerging female leaders and students. They're working to broaden the pipeline of employees by supporting women throughout their education. Again, Gardner Carrick and James Goppert.
We think that there are tremendous opportunities for people of all backgrounds in manufacturing. The limiting factors previously tended to be physical, right? Which really did, in many ways, restrict women's ability to be successful in an environment where you were lifting heavy things hour after hour, day after day. That's no longer the case in most manufacturing. You have the machines that are doing that work. So the barriers to entry for women are not as great as they were previous. So we believe that for those women that are looking for careers that allow them to work with technology, that allow them to make incredible products, that manufacturing more than ever offers them opportunities to do so. For our military veterans, they are highly sought after.
A veteran with time in service, we'll say anywhere from 10 to 20 years. you're going to end up with an individual that has leadership skill set. They've been in long enough to either see great leaders and been a great leader, seen bad leaders and be a great leader because they know not to be a bad leader. So they have leadership skills. They know how to talk with somebody. They know how to motivate people, get them to do what they needed done. Then your junior soldiers, your junior military members, the 1 to 6 year time frame, they've been in long enough. They've been taught the skills of safety, quality, attention to detail, just the minor things that, a lot of employers look for. And then on top of that, they follow orders, they understand. They also have the ingenuity to think outside the box.
You've been listening to the final episode of a 3-part series on the boom in manufacturing and how employers are working to fill thousands of jobs across the country. I'm Ramona Schindelheim, Editor-in-Chief of Working Nation. Thanks for listening.